There's a history of producing really storied companies, companies that all of us have heard of, and you don't have any such examples here. You do have startups that have come out of the IIT, but none of them have really gone on to become these big household names that everyone's looking for.
Yeah.
Yes. How important do you think that ecosystem is?
Well,
and where do you think we are in our journey to get there?
okay. So the first thing I'd say is patience. If product startups only start in the last year or two, and the numbers are just starting to multiply, then you'll have to wait 5 years to see really great examples. I was talking to the founders of Snapdeal a while ago, and I saw some pretty good ideas there. Now, I don't know the details, I've never looked at their business plan in detail, and so I can't tell you much about them, but fundamentally good basic ideas that have a lot of value, I think. That plus 5 years, so 1,000 good ideas or even 50 good ideas out of 1,000 plus 5 years will result in those successful things. Clearly the IITs haven't yet produced that, but I say yet because I think it's only a matter of time before that happens. So for example, I would venture to guess a big startup is much more likely in India than say in the UK or Germany. Or pick your favorite non-US company. I believe that. Though the ecosystem isn't the same, it's not as good. It is getting much better. How many of the people here have worked in Silicon Valley or in that kind of startup environment? See, fairly large. They're seeding a belief system and bringing expertise, even if you can't quantify it, here, and that will improve the probability of success of companies here. So I think the ecosystem will grow slowly, and the more startups that get started, even if they fail, there will be more learning from it that will be applied again with higher probability of success. And so I think the ecosystem will get better. It doesn't get better overnight, but I'm pretty optimistic it will get better. And so I don't think, I wouldn't be pessimistic about it, The short term always feels pessimistic. You got these problems, you got bureaucracy problems, you got infrastructure, but you sort of have to look at the long term trends. Where you have 1 billion people in a growing economy, most of the West will die for a 5% growth rate, where we skipped some generations of technology, we skipped the whole landline generation, we may skip credit cards and its bureaucracy, maybe skip a banking generation into new technologies and bypass old things, maybe a new generation of mobile health technologies. I think over time we'll see this be a vibrant environment.
Okay, I'm glad about that all.
But it does take mentors and coaches who've done it before. I mean, there are accelerators starting up, incubators starting up, but what counts is what's the quality of the people giving advice to entrepreneurs. And they can't be big company people who've not been entrepreneurs themselves. They can't be people who've never been entrepreneurs who are sideline cheerleaders without ever taking the risk themselves. But that ecosystem is growing. Now, one of the big advantages India has developed over the last 2 or 3 years, despite the pessimism, is more than ever, I see people in the US working at great companies like Google saying, I want to go back to India and do a startup. And I think that's a bigger advantage than anybody is recognizing today. There's 8 people from the press, that's what you should be writing about. I mean, that is the optimistic picture because they're bringing this intangible expertise about how entrepreneurial, the culture of entrepreneurship back. So I think I'm optimistic about that.
Okay.